Hello everybody, my name is Harrison or Dandy with KeySmash Studios, and today we're bringing in my dad Richard. Say hi.
Hi.
And we thought we'd have some fun here and introduce him to a show that me and some of the other members of KeySmash really like, My Hero Academia. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to show him pictures of the different characters in their superhero costumes throughout the show. Now I've nitpicked 12 of the more popular characters, spanning from the first 3 seasons. I actually haven't seen season 4, so I wanted to get into this while season 4 is in production. And we're gonna make him guess, based on their costume and their actual person name, what their superhero name is and what their quirk is. So to give you an explanation of the show, it's a world of superheroes. And everybody wants to be, not everybody, but most people want to be heroes, right? So a lot of people are born with quirks. That's their superpower. That's what they call them. And they can range from, there's all kinds of powers. I'd name some, but I'd hate to spoil it for you. So what we're going to have, you're going to have to guess, you know? Their costumes a lot of times are based off of what their power is, so you can derive some hints from that. But honestly, it's going to be a little rough. Some of these powers are crazy. So the first hero that I have for you today is she's actually one of the teachers. That's a she, by the way. At least we're pretty sure. I'm pretty sure she's mentioned as a she on the wiki, because this is where I got most of this from. And heads up real quick, big spoiler alert, this is going to talk about a couple of the characters, so if you haven't watched the show at all yet, then I wouldn't recommend it. But this doesn't go past season, I'd say honestly season 2 of the show, so if you've watched up to season 2, you're not going to get anything spoiled. But, so this is one of the first characters that I wanted to go through. So she's a teacher at the school. She actually teaches disaster response, and that's what she's more famous for. She helps rescue people. So what do you think her name and her powers are?
Maybe, Hazmatty.
Hazmatty? No, I like that. I like that. Alright, what's Hazmatty's power?
Let's see, she's impervious to chemical warfare.
Alright, so she has a resilience to... Alright, so her name is actually Space Hero 13. So,
I would have never guessed that.
Fair, yeah, fair. But we'll see. I'm gonna give it to you if you're close. We're gonna let this be close. And her power is actually black hole, being the space hero. So, and for all of these, I have a little picture to try to showcase what this might look like. So, pardon the mouse if you can see it floating around. But this is what Space Hero 13, the little cups on her gloves actually open up, and she sucks things in with a it'll tear, just like a black hole, it'll tear you to shreds too. So that's what she does, and she uses that to help rescue people by like sucking away debris or whatever. So, but you did pretty good. Hazmatty's good. So, all right, next up, this is one of the students. Her name is Uraraka Ochako. Pardon me for butchering these names, I don't speak the language. But she's one of the students in Class 1A. She's one of the primary characters in this show. And she's really upbeat, really happy, really good hero mentality, but she wants to be a hero to help her family with money problems. Because, you know, famous hero, lots of cash, and her family doesn't have to work anymore. Or she can help them work. So there's her in her school uniform and her in her superhero uniform. What do you think her powers are? And her name is?
Well, by looking at her outfit, I'd say her legs are really predominant there, so I'm going to think it's some kind of speed or run ability, and I want to say her name would be Speedy.
Speedy?
That's pretty weak.
That's fine. So, her name is actually Uravity. So yeah, kind of a hard one to guess, but do you think you want to change what your answer was about her power based off your Uravity? You're close with motion, but not quite speed.
Yeah, I would say it's something to do with gravity, being the Uravity. I don't know.
Yes, no, see, that's a smart guess. Her power is 0 gravity. So what she does is pretty much anything she touches, after she touches it, she can give it 0 gravity. The downside to her quirk, though, is that if she tries to lift too much weight, it's like a muscle. She has to train it. She can make huge objects very light, but the bigger the object, the more toll it has on her, and if she does too much weight, she gets super nauseous and throws up everywhere. So, but now, good, well done, and you got the 0 gravity part after seeing the name. So this is your boy. This is the #1 hero. His real name is Yagi Tashinori. His hero name you'll find out soon. And he's the #1 hero in the world in this show. So he actually has started working as a teacher at the school at the beginning of the show. He became one of the teachers at the Hero School, UA Academy, or the Hero Academia, as it's called. And he loves the hero. That's his thing. He's the macho hero #1. He thinks heroes are absolutely necessary. So what do you think, looking at him, his powers are? And his name?
Well, his powers, he looks like a cross between He-Man from old school times.
Yeah.
And let's see.
I saw a little bit of Johnny Bravo in there.
I think. Maybe. Yeah. Or Wolverine.
Or with the hair, yeah.
I would say super strength, I guess, would be the natural guess for him.
All right. And what do you think his name is?
He-Man, I don't know.
He-Man? Fair. I mean, He-Man's popular. So his name is actually All Might. Because he is almighty, and he's huge. But I will give you, technically, there were 2 answers. It was kind of a trick one. His quirk is called One for All. His power is passed on to him from generations before him. It's the only power like this. Because, somebody who's born with the power to give away powers, pretty useless, right? Because if your only power is to give away your power. So he gave somebody that power, who used it and made it stronger, and gave their powers away. And he's about the 7th or 8th person in that line. But his power equivalents to super strength. You were right. Actually, there are a lot of fights where... Oh, and he was quirkless originally. I put that there because that was kind of the trick of it, is that he did originally have no power. He was just a buff guy. But his power is pretty much super strength. There's a huge fight scene where he beats up this bad guy called Nomu, and it's literally just a slugfest. He is insane. And there's him throwing a punch so fast that air is breaking around his hand. So you were right about that. He is extremely strong. That is his thing. So the next one up, and this one is my kind of favorite character. You can judge me however you want, but her name is Asui Tsuyu. People just call her Tsuyu. I have a button and a tiny figurine and a poster because Carson knows I love her, and she's another aspiring hero. She's part of Class 1A. She's super upbeat, very sweet, and the type of person who will just tell you stuff straight to your face. So like if something's fishy to her, she'll be like, "Hey, going on?" That's the type of person, but super cool person. So just looking at her in her outfit and her costume, what do you think her power is and her name?
Maybe a power like Spider-Man, like climbing walls. Looks kind of froggy, if you will.
All right.
So I would say that's her power. She can maybe climb walls or something. And then her name, I'm not going to be good on these anime names, but I'm going to say Froggy.
Froggy. You know what? I'm gonna give that to you because her hero name is Froppy. She is the rainy season hero Froppy, and her power, you guessed it, is frog. So her family is she kind of got a frog family. She has her powers are pretty much anything a frog can do. She has a really long and strong tongue. She hops everywhere. She can jump incredibly high. She can kind of stick to certain surfaces. And later in the series, she starts to learn how to camouflage herself and emit toxins and stuff like that. You just train yourself to be a frog. So yeah, but I love her so much. She's my absolute favorite. So the next one we're going to, he's he's one of the old timers in the show, and his name is Torino Sorahiko, pardon me. And he actually was, I don't know a lot about him because I haven't read the manga, so don't kill me. But he is a retired teacher from the school, just based on what I've read off of the wiki. And he actually helped All Might, our big buff friend you saw earlier. He's kind of the guy that trained him to control those powers after they were given to him, because, he wasn't born with them. So, but he, as far as I know, he's never done a lot of hero work, but he's a very good guy and a very good teacher. So what do you think his name and powers are?
Well, I'm getting a big Yoda vibe here.
A big Yoda vibe. Yeah, I guess short people with canes are really good at teaching stuff.
So, obviously, maybe his superpower is teaching or training.
Okay.
And his name would be Grandpa Yoda? I don't know.
Grandpa Yoda? Yeah, I think there'd be a copyright issue, but... All right, so his name is... if you take the first 4 letters from what you said, it's right. The name he goes by is Gran Torino. So kind of a play on his name a little bit, because almost like Grandpa Torino, but they call him Gran Torino. And his power is a little cooler than Supreme Teaching. His power is called Jet. And essentially what it is you see how his feet are kind of really wide down there, which has happened in a couple of them, but he can actually emit jet streams out of himself and uses it to rocket around places. And the best picture I could find of that was right here. He's kicking one of the bad guys in the face brain. And but you can see the air coming out of his foot because he blasts himself around really quickly to build velocity and then just wails on people using that speed. So that's how he teaches people too, he's like, hey, your power is to be really strong, which means you should also be fast. So catch me or I'm gonna keep kicking you. So it worked. It worked
Yeah.
in the show. So that's Gran Torino. The next one, this is the premiere. This is number 1. You might have seen, my brother Carson is the biggest fan of this show that I know. And we have 2 figurines of this guy upstairs. Yeah, this is Midoriya Izuku, or Midoriya. He's a student of Class 1A. He's the protagonist of the show, and he loves heroes. He's all about taking action. He wants to save as many people as he can. Super swell guy, and he is the main character of our show. Now, what do you think his name and his power are?
The names are killing me in this.
His name's going to be hard to guess, too, because you don't really get a lot of hints for his name.
Just by looking at his outfit or his superhero uniform, I would say he's probably fast.
Okay.
Something in the speed realm, I would think, and then maybe his name would be. I want to say it's some kind of Japanese name, but I'm not.
No, most of them are just words, because I took the English translation of all of them. Although, all right, his is closest to Japanese name. I will be honest. Kind of, threw you under the bus on this one.
Yeah. We'll just call him Speedy.
Speedy? All right. Well, his name is actually Deku. Again, you don't get a lot of in the show. His name is Deku because that's what they used to insult him. That word in one dialect was kind of like slow or dumb because of his powers when he was born, which you're about to see. But he ended up making it his hero power because Uravity, our gravity hero girl, she actually told him one time, oh, Deku sounds kind of like this word for like inspiration and happiness. So he was like, you know what, I'm going to take this insult and make it my hero name and like really live up to like the positive side of it. His power, and this one was kind of a trick question again, I kind of pulled a fast one on you here, is also called One for All. Remember how that power gets passed down from person to person? Yeah. He's the one that received it. He was born quirkless as well, but he tried to save somebody despite having no power, and All Might saw that and was like, this is the kid that needs to inherit this power. So the whole show is actually him learning how to use his power and become the next top hero in the world. So it was kind of a sneaky one on you because it's the exact same as the last guy. So and here's when he uses it, when All Might uses it, he just moves quicker and gets buff. Midoriya has this thing about when he uses it, and it changes as the show goes. I know this, I don't know a lot about it though, so don't spoil it for me. But when he uses the power, this green electricity appears, and he gets all these red lines across him. Now, to be fair, and I only have one picture that kind of shows this off. He only has ever used about 8% of the power in the show that I've seen because it's a lot of power and you have to train yourself slowly to use it. The first time he used it, he threw a punch, literally blew up the bone in his arm. So his entire arm was red and like backwards. So if he uses it carelessly, he has blown his bones up. He went through a whole fight where all he did was flick at them because the flick created a shockwave that could blow you like 100 feet away, but he did break one finger at a time every time he did it. So absolute mad lad, that Midoriya. Now here's another one of the people. This little lovely lady right here is named Chiyu Sujinji? Chiyu Sujinji. I'm gonna go with that. She's a nurse at the school and she takes care of the students and likes to get on to teachers who push the students to injure themselves too much because she's the nurse. She has to take care of them. So what do you think her power and her hero name are?
Well, power obviously is something medical. She's a healer maybe.
All right. Solid guess.
Nurse, I don't know, nurse hero?
Nurse hero? I'd say you're pretty close with the name. I'd be close enough to give you a half point, but she is the youthful heroine recovery girl. So, and as you guessed earlier, her power is good old healing. Now, her power isn't like magical healing, because, they like to balance these powers out. There's not one ultimate power. So she can heal you, but it's not like she instantly removes damage. She encourages your body to heal itself more quickly. So there is a limit. If you break too many bones or if you injure yourself too much, she can only heal you up to a certain point. Because past that, you're just stretching your body out. But the way she does it's kind of fun. It kind of scares the kids. Because she'll just give you a big old smooch. Her lips stretch out, she gives you a smooch, and then your body kind of revitalizes. And it burns a lot of your stamina. And this is actually, you can see his arm right there. That's when both of his legs are also broken in this scene. Because he jumped about 200 feet into the air. And remember the picture of Uravity vomiting earlier? There it is. It's all one scene. I've tied it all together. But that's her power. She gives smooches of healing in a really creepy, stretchy lip kind of way. So the next one, and this is actually one of Carson's favorite heroes as well. This is our boy Mirio, Tagata Mirio. He is one of the students. He's an upperclassman at the Hero Academy at UA. And his goal is to save, like you can see on his outfit there, his goal is to save at least 1 million people. So he wants to be a huge hero. He's super energetic, super upbeat. You can tell by they designed his face more simply just to show that he has that one strong emotion, and that's let's be awesome today. So what do you think this dude's power and name are?
Getting kind of a Superman type vibe here with the cape and all. I'll tell you, maybe flying.
Okay.
And his name would be $1 Million Man.
$1 Million Man? All right, I'd say you're pretty close on the name, actually. Yeah. So that 1 million does tie into his name. He named himself Lemillion. And it's because he wants to save 1 million people. He was like, what better name than to like put my desire as a hero in the name? So I am Lemillion. Now his power is kind of an oddball one. His costume actually means almost nothing to his power, because his power is called permeation. And what his power is he can control every single part of his body and make it entirely phase through. So at any, like, usually when he gets into fights, he ends up butt naked, because when he uses his power, all of his clothes just fall through him. So the way he uses that power to fight, he's one of the stronger classmen in the game. And here's a picture of kind of what it looks like when he uses his power. That's him looking through a wall at Midoriya. It's the best picture I could find of him using it. But when he uses his power, again, he just goes right through stuff, which sounds really busted, because if somebody throws a punch, he could make his head phase through, so they just whiff, right? It sounds overpowered, but, you know, if you turn off your eyes, if your eyes are go through, light goes right through them, you can't see anything. If you turn off your lungs, you can't breathe. So he has to control his power, but it does have upsides. When he makes himself fully phase through, he'll fall into the earth and just start falling. And if he turns that off while he's down there, he doesn't get stuck. It's like, oh wait, you're not supposed to be here, you're supposed to be up there somewhere, and it'll push him up. So as he fights, he can blank out to dodge attacks and to punch through people and whatever, but he can also vanish into the ground and control his trajectory and reappear all over the battlefield. Super fun watching him fight in the show. But that's my boy Lemillion. So here, this is a sassy lady right here. This is another teacher at the school, if you'd believe. Not very appropriate for a teacher, but her name is Kiyama Nimori, and she is, like I said, a teacher, and she, you know, she's kind of dark. She's very sassy, and she really does love whipping bad guys into shape. So what do you think her name and power are?
Her power. Well, she definitely has a different outfit than most, I would say.
A little dominatrix-y there.
Yeah. Her power, I would say, is God.
You can be honest here. We all know what she looks like. So.
She definitely looks like a dominatrix. So,
yeah. The whip doesn't help.
Yeah, that must be her power, and her name is I don't know. Sassy Lass. I don't know.
Sassy Lass. Fair. Well, her name, to continue being appropriate, is let's get that up. The 18+ only hero, Midnight. So
there you go.
Mama of the Night. She's one sassy dame, and her power is kind of confusing to pronounce. Is Somnambulist. Or I think I'm saying that right. I'm probably not. You can butcher me in the comments. But Somnambulist is essentially what it does, and it's easier to explain with a picture, is you see kind of on her arm how her outfit is torn there.
Right.
She tears parts of her outfit right there, and it releases kind of that pink haze that you see around her, and that puts people right to sleep. If you're standing anywhere near her and you breathe that in, you're done for. And then she can do whatever she wants, because she has whips and all that, or she'll just chain you up, whatever. So the way that she fights people is all she has to do is tear that outfit and get anywhere near you, and you are a goner unless you don't breathe. So she kind of puts people under her spell, kind of like a dominatrix a little bit. So, all right, this next one here, all right, it's weird to describe Bakugo. This is Bakugo Katsuki, called Bakugo throughout the show, and it's kind of hard to describe his role. He's another hero, but Midoriya, the Deku, the kid who received All for One, was bullied by him through all of school. This kid just kicked the crap out of him constantly, but that's because he is a badass. That's who he is. All he wants to do is prove that he's better than everyone, and he's becoming a hero to help him do that. Because if he becomes the top hero in the world, then of course he's better than everyone, right? So, and there's him in his costume. Now I'm gonna be frank with you. I don't know. I don't think you're gonna get this name, but I think you have it in you to get this power. So lay it on me. What do you think his name and power are?
You know, I'm getting a big Yu-Gi-Oh vibe out of this guy. He almost looks like he's got the card thing on his arm. And
fair. But I'm gonna give you another hint. Really look at those arms, because if you figure out what those are, you're gonna know his power right away.
Well, it looks like a hand grenade is one arm. I can't quite tell what the other one is, but maybe explosion is his power.
All right.
And Kaboom would be his name.
All right. So his name was hard to get. His name is Kacchan. So that's just kind of a name that he got from the show. Kind of hard to guess that. But his power, you figured it out, is explosions. So the way his costume is designed, because they build their costumes to help their powers,
right,
is he kind of emits like a nitroglycerin and is able to ignite it. That's how he makes his explosions. So he had those gauntlets built so that as he's emitting this stuff naturally, he can explode all he wants, but that also stores it up. So like when it gets full, he can pull a pin on the side of his grenade gauntlets and fire a huge explosion out of the hole on his gauntlet. So, and another thing he does too, because again, he can just emit explosions from his hands, is when he's fighting, he'll use those to blow himself around to like gain tons of mobility. His biggest move is called the howitzer cannon. He jumps up into the air, makes a ton of explosions, and spins himself for more velocity, and then right when he gets to the person, he blows up right in their face. He almost broke his arms doing it. It was a fun fight. It was a good fight. So this is another guy, another teacher from the show, and his name is Yamada Hizashi. Man, I can't even talk today. These names are hard. He's an English teacher at the UA Academy, because, they gotta know the English, obviously. And he is a super loud and proud super, and you can look at the big old smile on his face. He is always roaring to go. So what do you think his name and power are?
Some kind of, he almost looks like a punk rocker, so I want to say,
alright.
It's something where he shouts, or it's vocal, or something of that nature.
Okay.
And his name is Professor Shock, maybe.
Professor Shock. All right. Well, his name is Present Mike. So you had the two words in there.
I'm in the area.
Yeah, you're in the area. Now with the power, you're spot on, because his power is voice. That on his throat there is an amplifier, because that's what he does. He can scream so loud that he'll bust eardrums across the entire stadium. That's his whole thing, is whenever he's doing stuff, he just yells, you see all the audio waves, and everybody around him just drops and has to cut, like your ears will bleed. He'll scream so loud, and you can be a mile away. So yeah, he's the same. He's that way in the show too. He usually hosts most of their events, because he has the speaker right on his neck, right? Super easy. So he's very loud though. Alright, so I think we're on the last two here. And, well, actually, no, this is the last one. And this one I kind of chose specifically because I thought it would help. I gave you a hint there. He might would be useful in your work life, in your day-to-day work life. So this is Shiro Hanta. He's one of the students in Class 1A. And he's super exciting, super upbeat. And again, his power, I thought, would be very specific to helping you out with the way you work every day. So that's about the only hint I'm going to give you. But what do you think his name and power are?
His power, looking at those arms, looks like he is mechanical in some way.
Kind of, but I think what you should really look at are the shoulders, maybe. That might give you your best hint here.
You think?
And again, think of your work life. Think of something that you use every day.
Every day. Like a sander, a spray gun, compressor.
It's before most of that. I'm really trying to sell it to you here, because I think I chose his power specifically because I thought it would mesh. So
before that,
before you sand, before you anything.
Masking.
What do you think his power is?
Let's see. So if he masks, he's rapping, I guess. I don't know.
You're pretty close.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think his name is? His name's kind of a tough one, but.
The Mask Marauder.
The Mask Marauder. Kind of funny for a guy that doesn't wear a mask, huh? Well, no. His name is actually Taping Hero Cellophane. Want to guess what his power is? You guessed it.
Wrapping it up.
Tape.
Yeah.
Those shoulders right there, you can shoot tape right out of them. Check it out. He fires tape right out of his arms. He can use it to tape up bad guys.
I didn't notice that the arms would do that. I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Kind of hard because like a lot of times, right there he has it kind of out front, but a lot of times it's kind of out of the elbow. But yeah, if you look at his shoulders, they kind of look like the little tape things that you pull off.
Yeah.
So I think that might actually be the end of it. Yeah, that is the end. We're just gonna look at cellophane here at the end. So thank you for doing this with me. It was
not
fun.
a problem. It was fun.
Did you enjoy the heroes you saw?
I did.
You did.
This is one of the things I haven't seen you guys watch a whole lot, so.
Well, awesome. Yeah, it's a great show, and who knows? And thank y'all for watching. It was a pleasure doing this. If you want to see us run him through the ringer some more, let us know. A lot of heroes from the show, or we could do it with other shows too, or games even.
Yeah.
I love committing him to our world a little bit. As a working man, as a strong, I don't know, rough-handed working man, we got to bring him into the nerd culture a little bit.